All right, hopefully you guys can hear me. We're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome back to an impromptu episode where we're going to go ahead and do some cleaning and some talking, and hopefully you guys can hear me. So we're going to do a little bit of just like quick detail, speed shine, whatever. This is the stuff I normally use to wash. I don't really ever use like soap and water or um, I don't do like car washes or hoses or whatever. This is the stuff I normally use, and then some reasonably cheap Amazon towels. And this stuff's pretty basic. Everybody knows kind of how this stuff works. You just spray it on, wipe it. Pretty normal. So while we're doing this, as you guys know, I quit my job. Today was last day, and I don't know if you could see GoPro on the hat. Best way to film. Not really, but it is what it is. So today was my last day of work. I have more or less worked for the better part of 28 years, 30 years. So to say that I am unemployed, it's pretty crazy if you ask me. So I'm not unemployed yet. I'm taking a week of vacation, and then I will be, I guess, unemployed for at least the duration of school. And then once I graduate, so just did the whole hood and front fenders, wipe this all on, come through, and I always pull the tags off these towels because I find that the tags sometimes will drag on the paint. It doesn't necessarily hurt it, but it just to protect it. What was I saying? Lost my train of thought. So yeah, I will be. Oh yeah, so 3 years of school, notionally to start, and once those 3 years are done, I will be going back out into the workforce, but as someone who is in digital innovation and design, not as someone who is computer security, IT guy, cybersecurity, cyber operations, whatever you want to call it, which is what I am now. And yes, if you're wondering, there is pretty decent wrinkle in the sheet metal here, but whatever. So yeah, pretty basic. Just come through, spray down, wipe it. This will lift most of that dirt up, and then you can just come back through with one final wipe with a dry towel. Now, people will tell you that this messes up your paint, whatever. Yes, if there is 10 years worth of dust from sitting in a garage, absolutely, you're going to want to hose it off. That's a rock chip. But yeah, you're going to want to hose it off. You're going to want to clean it. But truthfully, with the amount of dirt I have on this, this is not going to hurt nothing. With the amount of work that I did to this paint when I first bought the car, this ain't going to hurt it. Sorry about the sun. I don't know where it's shining because I can now see the GoPro, but whatever. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine. So, like I was saying, 3 years of school, then back out into the workforce. Hopefully, maybe. Or I might just become a pensioner at 46, which wouldn't be terrible. My wife may not like that because I would absolutely get on her nerves. But hey, it's fine for me. So yeah, it is kind of a weird feeling walking away. Not walking away necessarily. I am moving on, if you will. I am getting myself an education because I don't have a formal education. I have a lot of on-the-job training. I have a lot of job-specific training, but no actual education. If you can see, that's the van. Sorry, squirrel. That's the van I was talking about the other day. The big old 1-ton Ford with the dually. We're not ready for that one yet. Yeah, so I wouldn't call it walking away. And then I did have about an hour-long meeting with my advisor today. I was able to get signed up for my classes in the fall. I have to take English 101. I'm not looking forward to that. I don't do well with the English, you know. I was born in America, but I don't know how English works. It's complicated. I'm from here and I think it's hard. So that's going to be an interesting one because I have to take a placement test before. See, maybe now you can see the GoPro with the external mic on the hat. But yes, English 101, and I believe one other English class. Obviously not looking forward to that, just because English was not something I ever really understood. I mean, I understand it. It's never something I was good at. I have to maintain a fairly good GPA, not only for my own satisfaction, but for some other factors with the school and with the individuals sending me through school, or the people sending me through school, if you will. It should be fine, but I just got to make sure I maintain that 2.5, 2.5, I think is the GPA I got to sustain. And of course, that's average, so. But I am still nervous about the English thing. I'm sure it'll be fine, right? It'll be great. As we used to say, one of my old jobs, my buddy Ty and I used to work our butts off like crazy. And one of the things we always said was, you know, it'll buff. It'll work out. It'll be fine. One way or another, it all buffs. And so that's going to be kind of my philosophy going into school is it's all going to buff. You know what I want? I want one of those chest GoPro deals because this is heavier on the hat than I expected. I mean, it's not super heavy, but like heavier than I expected on my fancy Overwatch hat, my fancy sweaty Overwatch hat. And by sweaty, I mean literally completely drenched in sweat. So, that's the scenario with school. So, classes I've got to start with are Introduction to Digital Innovation and Design. So, that's the 101 course of, hey, this is your degree. This is what it looks like. This is what it smells like. Kind of deal. English 101, which I just talked about, and then what were the other? Analytics for UX design, analysis for UX design, basically doing the research and analysis for user experience design, which actually sounds pretty cool. That one I'm kind of looking forward to. Well, I mean, I'm looking forward to all of it, but that's one, the certificate of UX design is going to be, I think, pretty fun. Same with content production is another certificate that I have to get as part of my degree. Both of those, little rust spot under the mini starting to bubble. Knew about that. So that's fine. Yeah, so those are, I think, the first 4 classes I have to take. And the way they do it is 7 weeks is half of a semester, but you do 2 classes in that 7 weeks. And then you have another 7 weeks where you do another set of classes. So 2 classes every 7 weeks comes out to a full-time load of 12 classes over a 14-week period, or 12 credits. So that's what I'm doing. I've got to finalize that schedule, but it's pretty much what's going to happen. At least that's the the hope, the plan, the idea right now. Um, that's what I signed up for with my advisor today. And so, yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be good to learn. As I mentioned in the last video, I enjoy learning, even though I was never good at school. But learning and being good at high school, not always the same thing. And yes, I find it easier to just crawl around this thing than to bend over and try to clean it because it is so dang low to the ground compared to that thing. I do feel somewhat bad about leaving my job because so my boss, I've never met in person, only ever talked to on the phone, I think twice. I've only talked via email mostly. And my coworkers have a different boss. So when I put in my 2-week notice, I didn't really say anything to my coworkers for a little bit, you know. And then as I got closer, I was like, man, I got some administrative things that I need some of them to do. And I was like, oh, by the way, I put in my 2 weeks and it's Wednesday. And I start vacation the following Monday. So my last day is Friday. Here, can you do these things for me? Not the most ideal situation for my coworkers, but as far as I'm concerned, you know, I told my actual boss, the guy who hired me, what the plan was, and that's sufficient for me. But yeah, I was like, all right, y'all, I'm out. So for car stuff, yeah, this is kind of the process of keeping this thing as clean as you can in this climate. Doesn't always work, but does pretty good. You know, if I were to really want to keep this thing clean, I'd have to do this daily, which of course I don't, because, you know, don't really have the time to spend on it. I mean, I do, I guess, now, or at least until the semester starts, but holy moly, it's like, you know, work. Ain't nobody got time for that. But it does look pretty darn good when I do this. All right. So now take some of this stuff, put it on one of the towels, and we use this on a lot of the trim and plastic stuff. Well, and some of the rubber. This stuff's just good at keeping it sort of conditioned, keeps it from cracking, peeling, all that stuff. You could see, well, you probably can, but as I'm pulling it up, just adds a sort of layer of moisture, hydration, whatever, to all the things. Obviously, I'm not full on cleaning the interior right now. But if I was, I would just continue this stuff, the green bottle stuff, all through the interior. And obviously, if I was doing a full up, clean, I would vacuum and all that. But being that we're getting ready to go on a trip, we're not doing that. See, and that's the thing. People are like, oh, it's not, it's not that clean. It's clean enough that that paint still makes stuff slide like crazy, you know. And I know that that's not a accurate, representation of how clean your paint is, but for me and for this car, it's fine. That's on the inside. Just a little pro tip, if you ever are washing the back window of one of these minis and you're really getting into it, be careful. Right there, this thing will slice you something fierce. I almost just did it again right now, but I remembered because it's just a little sharp piece of plastic. It'll make you have a bad day. So yeah, that's it. I know the front fascia is still dirty because I normally use like the bug and tar remover on the front because it's full of bugs. But I'm out of that right now, so I just leave it alone until I can get some more of that. But yeah, I mean, it ain't perfect, but it's good enough for the girls we go with, as they say.